Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Power Hour brought to you by the Center for Energy Workforce Development. This is part two of Energy Career Conversations. Part one, we met a group of very skilled, talented women that are working in the energy industry. We're going to hear more from them today. We are going to hear more about what their benefits look like in their energy careers, and then what kind of support structures they have around them with their coworkers, within their companies, within their unions, and how that's helped them along the way. Lechana, let's get back to you. Can you tell us how has being in your trade helped you build a solid foundation for yourself and your family?
Well, like I said earlier, I was making minimum wage. So when I got into the labor's hall, I more than doubled what I was making. And because of that, I was able to support my family. And being a single parent, that meant everything to me. Not just having a place to stay, just being able to pay the bills, and that's it. I was able to support myself, support my children, the things that they wanted to do in school. So they after curricular activities, not to mention to be able to travel. That was something that I wanted to do, but didn't have the money to do. And, you know, being able to support myself as a single parent, that meant everything to me.
With your support, that was your wages and your, health insurance for your family,
Yeah, the
um,
benefits.
some retirement, all of the benefits. Um,
Yes.
all right, perfect. So just so everybody knows, if you want to learn more about the typical wages and benefits for different trades, it's we can give you kind of a high level overview of what that might look like in your area, maybe. And if you want to know more for that particular topic, we're going to cover that on December 2nd. So get registered for the December 2nd webinar, and you'll learn more about the wages and benefits during that time. So let's cook back. So Shannon, what industry changes have you seen that's had a positive effect on you and maybe even some other women? I know we hear a lot of things about how hard some of these jobs are, and from my standpoint, I think there's been a lot of changes even in my career path that have made things better for all of us out there. But particularly things that you've seen in the energy industry. Um, could you share with us any of
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. A lot of safety standards and procedures have improved immensely. Better equipment, better on our bodies. I mean, all of our trades are really hard on our bodies. We have a lot of better equipment. PPE manufacturers are manufacturing clothing for females, fall protection for females. But all of the things that are changing, like the PPE gets better every year for everybody, not just us, right? Um, yeah, the apprenticeship programs are getting better every year. Um, Training, skilled mentorship. We've got skilled inclusive leadership, collaboration between the trades and our employers. It makes a better workplace for all of us. New ideas, new equipment. It's fun.
Yeah, you bring up the PPE, and I have to giggle. I remember my very first job, and they gave me a hard hat, and that back then they were still optional. They gave me some safety glasses that were like the really big ones that just covered half your face, or at least my face, and gloves, and they were like the I can't even describe them, but all of that only worked if I stayed like this all day. Well, as soon as second I did that, my gloves dropped off, my glasses fell down, and my hard hat tipped over. You
Yes.
know, so that really has come a long way. They've recognized that, like, we're here now. We're using PPE, and if we're going to use it, may as well fit. So,
Absolutely.
I think about I laugh every time when I'm like, what are you doing to me here?
And that went on for years. It's
a long time.
It's only been recent. Yeah.
My first set of FR clothing, so that's fire resistant clothing in certain jobs. You got to wear that. Could have fit all of us in it. All four of us could have fit in it, you know. So yeah. But yeah, now I run across, you know, and they're it's so much better, so much better. They actually have extra small gloves and things like that. So, yes, thanks. So let's kind of move down to Michelle. Uh-oh, I clicked out of my questions. Look at me go.
Uh-oh.
All right, no, we're back. Quick recovery. All right, so Michelle, how have your coworkers and other union members helped you along your path and helped you got where you are now, and maybe just, and it could be any kind of advice you got or things you were taught, just anything that you could tell us about what your environment is there.
In the beginning, I think it helped a lot because they didn't treat me different. I think when we're educating new members and men and women, if we treat each other all the same, then we all feel equal. And I felt that way. The company that I was with, I stayed there for 19 years. They didn't treat me any different, and I didn't feel any different than anybody else. There was never any other women, but you know, if they were always singling me out for something, I remember the first time I was probably 12 years in, and an inspector came up and he said, "Where's your bathroom?" And I said, "It's right there." And he goes, "No, where's your bathroom?" And I was like, "That's the bathroom I use right there." And he goes, "No, you have to have your own bathroom." So that right there, you know how long they teased me because they had made me have my own bathroom?
I wish that was standard across the industry, that they had both men's and women's bathrooms out on construction
Right.
sites. But it's, you know, you're lucky if that's the standard where you're
Right.
at.
I mean, it was a long time ago. So when it first came out, they were like, "Hey, can I use your bathroom? Mine's dirty." Apparently not, but he put a lock on it. Right? What are you gonna do? You
Yeah.
know, and then I don't think I don't think that happened again for years. It was just somebody that certain inspector knew about it. And then but I didn't like it because now they are treating me different. And we didn't have no issues before, you know. But by then we were so close it didn't matter. I mean, we just it's a big jokester, right? We all turn into little jokesters. But the only reason I'm on staff was an agent kept coming out to the job site, and he encouraged me to apply to be on staff. I didn't have any female representation in my union.
So could
I
you
do
explain a
now.
little bit about what
Oh,
you
yeah.
mean by on staff?
So when I was in the field, I didn't realize the positions in the union came from the field. I just thought those people worked in the office. But then, you know, then they started coming out to the job sites and talking to us and letting us understand that the business agents used to run equipment. I didn't It just didn't dawn on me, I guess, right? Because you, as a woman, sometimes you separate yourself from everybody else, right? I was in my little bubble of all these guys and that I worked with every day, and they knew me. And I didn't want to step outside of my bubble and introduce, you know, like you feel protected. And so I think that's one thing that women do is they get in a safe space and they stay there. So sometimes someone has to push you out, just like she said, someone had to show her the wages, right?
Yes.
And push you outside of your comfort zone. So I was super comfy in the field. I loved it. But once the work was too far for me and I didn't get to see my son anymore, I was like, man, maybe that guy was right. Maybe I should listen to him and go apply to be on staff. And that's kind of how it started. I got on staff in 2015.
Nice.
And now I work for the membership. So I
Right.
work for the people in the field, if other people don't know that.
Right. Well, thanks for that little bit more of an explanation. We sometimes forget that the language that we're used to from inside our industry doesn't necessarily always translate out. So if you're out there and you're talking with anybody, uh, you know, considering you're considering getting into the trades, if anybody says anything that you just quite don't understand, ask them. Just say, "Hey, could you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by that?" Because we do just naturally tend to forget that not everybody knows our language. So, you know, I'm just kind of thinking of different things over the years, and you know, since this is themed, you know, what did we get ourselves into? What did we get into? I kind of thought we'd do some stories just, real life stories. So I remember a job that I was on, it was quite a while ago, and we were upgrading the power distribution system to expand the television network capabilities on top. It was on where the towers were, so it was on a peak of a mountain, and up on that, so we mountaintop, we got to drive a snowcat to work every day. So it took us about 14 miles up the mountain um, every day in the wintertime anyway. And one day on the way back down, it's the end of the day, it's starting to get later. About 2 miles down, the snowcat throws a rod through the oil pan, breaks down. And then here we are, we're just kind of stuck. We're behind a gate, so nobody can just drive up the mountain to get us. So we had to coordinate some things, and we're just sitting there going, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Basically, what do we get ourselves into? But we start, we decide we can either hike down 14 miles or down about 12 miles or hike up 2. So we decide we're going to hike back up the mountain 2 miles and hunker down in the little building that was up there. But this was waist deep snow. So we had this big, hike. We got up there. We were all wet and cranky. But we just we had some laughs along the way because again, you get to know the crew, the people that you work with. That we all depend on each other to make home safe every day. So we got up there, we laughed. It took us hours later to get somebody to come and rescue us and get us back down on the mountain. And I just remember the whole time I'm like, man, why, you have things go wrong, but things like that, but I still wouldn't trade it for the world. So if you're ever questioning, what did you get yourself into? Have you guys ever had any thoughts like that? Michelle, can you think of a moment where you thought, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into?
I don't think mine is quite as drastic as yours, but yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll tell you one of my early ones because I know we all have more than one for sure. But when I was still an apprentice, I called in sick for 2 days. First time I ever did it, but I didn't come in for 2 days. On that third day when I came back in, of course, everybody's, giving me fits about it. But the superintendent comes out and he climbs up on the loader that I was running and he tells me to turn it off. And I'm like, oh gosh, he's going to fire me. And he sits on my loader with me and he goes, I have a wife and I have 2 daughters. So I understand when you have cramps. And I was like, oh, this is how this is going to go. And so trying to be polite. Oh, yes. And he said, I completely understand. He's like, but you have integrated yourself into this crew. He goes, this isn't Walmart. He's like, you can't call in sick. We don't have 50 other people to call. Right. So he said, you have to be here. Otherwise your loader sits, no one runs it. And so for me, it was a little pivotal. It's like, I fit in and they want me there every day. And then he pulls out the My Dog that he bought me and he gives it to me. And he's like, this is what my daughters use. Just please don't call in sick anymore. And so I put the My Dog in my pocket and I didn't say a word. I was like, thank you. And then it was lunchtime and the guys were all making fun of me. And they're like, what's the matter? I was like, oh, I have cramps. And it was just, I'm like, what did I get myself into? Like, is that all that they don't think that other things could have happened, And then the guys were like, well, did you tell him your dog died? I was like, nope. Did not tell him my dog died. And that's why I called in sick.
Oh,
but the guys knew.
I was going to say, I'll tell you what I found out when that happened when my dog actually did die, and it knocked me for a loop. I'm an animal lover. They're part of my, they're my babies, right? And when I went to work, that is the one thing that I can tell you across the board. Like guys that I work with carry pictures of their dog in their wallet. So that's the one thing. Like that's something that they actually bonded with me over, and all came to let me know how sorry they were. So that's just funny. I
just didn't want to tell him, because he got me my doll.
Right. There you go.
But yeah, I was thinking, I was like, man, they're never going to get used to having a girl there, right? Or it's caring.
Yeah. My experience has been, run into all sorts of guys that either I have a sister or wife, daughters, all those kind of things. I love running into the guys that have the daughters because they like to try to take you under their wing, depending on the age.
That's how we learn.
The older
Yeah.
I get, the less daughter action, like recognition I'm getting, and the more mom. I'm getting the mom. Look, this is our mom. We got to take care of her. So, all right, Lechana, how
Yeah.
about you? Do you have a story like that we could share?
Ah, well, I would say my first job out the union, I was here at Waterford 3. That was in '07. And I'm doing my paperwork to get processed in. And it had both a guy and a female walk in, and they was completely dirty. And like I told you earlier, I was Miss Pritzy, didn't want to get dirty. And so I looked at him and I'm like, oh no, I don't, mm-mm. And so I actually asked them, I was like, what were y'all doing? What's going on? Why y'all so dirty? And they looked at me kind of strange, like, why you even asking me that? And the guy, he answered me and said, hey, we was digging a ditch. And of course, this is my first job. Don't know about digging a ditch or, getting dirty. So he actually took me to their job site. And he was like, this is what we do to make the money that we make. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't like to get dirty. But like I told y'all earlier, my first check, it was only 3 days, which was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which y'all know those are the premium days. 12 hours, time and a half for Friday and Saturday, double time on Sunday, and per diem for 7 days. I was like, wow. Yes. What
So
a dirt
again,
at, what a mud at. I'm
yep,
here.
we all have a price.
Yes.
So just to let you guys know, we'll go a little bit more detail in the wages and benefits when we start talking about what per diem and premium time and those kind of things really mean um, in our world. Uh, just we don't have enough time to cover every single thing in one hour. So, but yeah, we all have our price. That's for sure. Um, so Shannon, how about you? Do you have a scenario like that?
I could. I have a ton of them. I'm trying to pick which one to do. I think probably because I'd been in the trade a long time before I hired onto the utility, and they actually courted me, wanted me to come to work for them. You know, so I got there, and all the guys were like, "Thanks, Shannon. Thanks." I'm like, "What? What's going on?" Because I've already have a relationship with the guys, and they're like, they bought these potty tents for all of us just because you were coming, because I'm the first female on the job, ever. And so everybody got these potty tents on their truck, and I'm sure they used them for camping or whatever, because we didn't use them on the job, no doubt. And then one other story, when I was very young into the trade, we had flown in poles on a mountainside. We had hand dug all the poles over this mountain in Arizona, which is tall terrain. Our crew hand dig all the holes, and then we have what we call a fly day. So a helicopter comes in, picks up the poles with all the insulators, down guys, cross arms, and flies them. They come in and we set them in the hole, and we kind of just lay them over, and we'll come back the next day and cant them up, get them straight so we can pull wire. So it's a huge day, and everybody's excited. It's a dangerous day. We got it done. We celebrated in town that night. We're all travelers, so we're staying in hotels. Um, a few ladies at the Moose made us spaghetti and what have you. Well, I was late getting to work the next day. Our show up was 40 miles out of town, and a young lady going to college had slid off the road. It was snowing. It was like 1.5 feet of snow in Flagstaff, Arizona. And she had slidden off the road, a college student, and I had a truck, and she was terrified. She didn't know what to do, kind of like you and the snowcat. So I pulled off, pulled her out of the ditch, got her going, told her everything's going to be all right, And then I got to work 10 minutes late, and my GF, very tall stature, big old guy, I got butt chewing that you would not believe. And it was my very first butt chewing. I didn't do anything wrong, but I just stood there and I took it. And then later on up the day, he climbed up the mountain. He's like, I can't have you be coming late. This, that, and the other. And finally, my foreman got up and said she wasn't late. She helped a college student on the way to work. Everything's just fine. So that's a couple little stories, but we could spend the whole hour telling stories.
Oh, we could.
It'd be good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we absolutely could. We're going to have stories go on and on all of these episodes. I'm sure by the end, everybody's going to know everything there is to know about me anyway. So we're kind of to the point where we're going to start some Q&A out there. We've got some questions coming in the chat. Oh, look, here we go. When I look for jobs in energy, they require a lot of specific skills. Do any jobs in energy train you while you work? Is there anybody interested in tackling this answer, or do you want me to take it?
I can tell you about how we do it for
Yeah.
our apprenticeship, but it's up to you guys.
So I'll just I'm going to kind of do just a kind of an overview. So when
Sure.
you do look specifically for the jobs in energy, so I'm assuming that maybe you're going to maybe your utility company job postings, or maybe you are looking at the line constructors or operators or laborers or electricians, depending on where you're working. So yeah, they're always hiring for people with experience and without experience. So sometimes that specific skill for a job description, if we want an electrician that knows this, that, and the other, they got there somehow. They're also hiring people with no experience. And so what happens is you apply for the jobs that have less than the specific skills, but they teach you. So, and they do that through apprenticeship. And so how apprenticeship works is they actually teach you on the job. So they hire you, you get enrolled in an apprenticeship, or in some cases you get indentured into an apprenticeship or accepted into an apprenticeship program. Then they send you out for an employer. But all it means is, yes, absolutely, all of these career paths have an apprenticeship option or attached there, and so that absolutely you'll get trained in the specific skills. Each one is going to learn a little bit different, and we will sometime towards the beginning of next year start looking at that in a little bit more detail on this webinar series. I hope I answered that question thoroughly enough for you. Do we have another question queued up? What is the one thing you wish you were supported in during your apprenticeship or pre-apprenticeship? I think all of us could probably answer this question. Is there anybody that's, jumping out going, hey, specifically, like there was one thing that I struggled with when I was an apprentice? Lechana, did you have anything that stuck out to you?
I struggled with support of family because I was told not to go into the trades. Girls don't do that. So that's what I struggled with.
All right. Were you able to find that support within your trade? Did that help out?
Yes. Actually, like I mentioned earlier, the instructor, she's actually my mentor now, along with a couple more that I have as mentors now. So I was able to find different women, because you want someone to look like you. Men can tell you whatever, and you're like, yeah, right, you got the hookup or whatever. But as far as a female, you want that. You want that female to tell you, hey, it's okay to fall as long as you get back up.
Gotcha. How about you, Michelle? Did you have anything that sticks out for you?
I mean, it's very similar. I wish that I would have had female role models, because there just wasn't in the late 90s, early 2000s, there wasn't women in instructor positions or in the union positions. Now we have quite a few. So I think it helps a lot because it helps bring them in. When you go to a career fair and you get to talk to the young women, I think that helps a lot. And I think that maybe I would have been more involved, right? The union always wants involvement, but if you don't see people that look like you, why do you want to go to the union meetings? Because no one's going to talk to you if you're the only one. You know what I mean? I was the only one at the company. I was the only one at the union meetings. And now I'm still the only female business agent. So it's like, I feel like I'm always, but now it's my turn to show the younger girls in our trade mentorship.
Right, right. Shannon, anything stand out for you?
Well, see, I agree with that right there. It's like, I started the trade in the 80s. So there wasn't people like me. I was the first. And so I'm making up for it now. I play the role. That's one of the best parts of my job now is being that mentor and going to schools and showing little kids that and little girls and people that look like everybody that they can do whatever they want to do. So it's important. I'm taking that role as being a mentor because I didn't have it back in the times. Now, did the men mentor me? Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. I couldn't have done it without. They taught me my trade. I had very good mentors. I couldn't be who I am without them. Absolutely. But it is nice for a little girl to come up and watch me doing a back feed demonstration and says, I don't know women could do that. And you tell them that you can do anything is it's quite rewarding.
Right, right. I know a lot of times that I've talked to, I think it was Michelle about this, a lot of great guys out there teaching us how to do the job, but they're teaching them the way they learned. And sometimes we've got to do some things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that we can't do it. It just means it might look a little bit different. So, all right. What do we got on our next question? Oh, the first step recommended. We're going to kind of go back a little bit. Someone take if they're interested in union work. How do I figure out which kind of trade work would match my skills the best? So I'm just going to kind of take this one. So I'm involved with a pre-apprenticeship program here in my area to help oversee. There's a lot of programs out there like it. And so you can find different pre-apprenticeship programs. There's one in particular through Trades Futures that has, it's the MC3 curriculum with the building trades. They actually take you and put you through some online, some curriculum, and then most of them have some hands-on things, and they will for you to try. And it kind of is usually roughly anywhere, the programs might be anywhere from 120 to 200 some odd hours that you go through. But they kind of give you a little bit of a taste of each of different trades, and you'll learn by either talking with other people in the industry through that process or trying different things, which of your skills translate. A lot of these programs come with some mentorship. This Hire PowHER is actually going to be launching a mentorship program for people who are trying to kind of work through what transferable skills are, what steps to take in their area, how do I connect to these resources. So watch for that. That'll be coming up here soon. But yeah, I would look for those pre-apprenticeships, in particular, the ones with Trades Future, because I know that they touch on all the different trades, operators. You might maybe not as much on the line side of things, but I think that's also coming. They do have line pre-apprenticeships as well, sometimes through tech schools, local community college, and things like that. Any more questions? All right. What suggestions do you have for exposing young women to non-traditional occupations? I'm going to tell you what my number one is, and then if anybody else on this panel wants to kind of chime in. My number one is have other women in those occupations sharing what they do in those occupations. It's if you can see it, you can be it. Like Shannon said, having somebody come up and say, I didn't know women could do that. They didn't know because they haven't seen it before. Anybody else want to add to that?
I would say that'll be the same for me. If you can see it, you can be it. Like my personal thing, I had never seen a female as the president of a local until I became the president of the local.
Just so you guys know, we'll start collecting some of this information so you guys have the links. Some of them are coming in the chat. There's a lot of great resources out there to help you identify where these programs are in your area. Can anybody address this question? The background in chemistry. I think of operating engineers, first of all, but that's more geology, I think.
I think chemistry. A little bit. If you want to go into it, we cover survey and testing and inspection too. So I think a lot of our testing and inspection side, they work in a lab, right? They take dirt, they go analyze the dirt. They take concrete samples, they take asphalt samples. They make sure the asphalt is hot enough. And those all take, classes at the college. It's not just the apprenticeship. You also have to take classes to add to those certs. So that's definitely, it's a different apprenticeship, but it's all under the one umbrella of OE3.
Yeah, and I'm sure that as you go down the road, you'll draw from whatever skills you already have and be able to apply them to the things that you're looking at. I know a lot of these trades are really, really heavy in math. So just like chemistry, so the skills that you have learned through chemistry, it will definitely transfer in those math worlds. All right, well, we're kind of coming to the end of our webinar. Just want to let you guys know that, we've got a lot of really good things coming up. Make sure you join us for the October 7th webinar coming up, because one of the number one questions I get with people exploring these different careers are these careers going to last? What's the future look like for these careers? Because we see a lot of careers going away because of technology. So AI, careers changing because of technology has been a thing for a long time. But just to let you guys know, in general, we've got some longevity in these career paths, but we're going to talk a little bit about what that demand looks like over the next little while with some people that are at the higher levels that can kind of see, regardless of what kind of energy that we're working with, the demand is there, and what that looks like for all of us in the future, considering these careers. So be sure to register for that October 7th webinar. I just want to, reach out and thank you all for being here. I appreciate you helping us with this first webinar and being some great engaging questions. And I want to thank our panelists here for sharing their stories and opening up their selves like that. So again, my name is Concetta. We'll be at see you again on October 7th. We'll have a couple, different guests all the time. You might see some of these panelists come back later dates, but we hope to see you on that next webinar. Did we have? Oh, I do want to mention again, watch out for the mentor program through Hire PowHER. We'll make sure, if you guys can let us know if you want to receive those updates, we'll make sure that you have all the details when we launch. And there's some great women just like these gals on our panelist here. Oh, look at me, these gals we all love to mentor people and get more women out there, because that solves all our problems. Getting more women out there makes everything just normal, instead of, oh, look, there's a woman, there's a girl. So yep, powerful women is what we're going to call that. Obviously, we're going to use the same POW, capital HERFUL, women. So we'll see you with that program as well. All right, everybody. I think have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time. We got a little bit of a late start and an early finish, just like we like it, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys have a good night. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for joining Power Hour. Join our live Power Hours at hirepower.org. Share Hire PowHER with anyone considering energy industry careers. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also listen to Hire PowHER wherever you get your podcasts, and join us next week for another Power Hour.